Welcome back to Gintama Anime Review. This is episode 10. This one we're reviewing pretty much the current season so far. This is the 10th season of the series, which basically the name is Gintama Shirogane no Tamashii-hen. Yeah, it's translated as the Silver Soul Arc. Yeah, currently this season's air for 24 episodes. Thinking 24 episodes, this only started just, I don't know, about few months ago, or much earlier. No, this season started like 1 week after the previous season ended, and this is probably the first time. When I looked it up here, it's the first time since, from what I can tell, yeah, it's the first time since the ending of season 4 led directly into season. When this is probably the first time since, when the series was originally airing for its first few seasons. Yeah, where it aired season after next, after next, after next. Yeah, this is the first time since when season 3 ended and led directly into season 4. Yep. Now, over the course of these episodes pretty much start where the arc in the way the manga started off, which was chapter 598, and as of the most recent episodes aired, they have pretty much gotten to 682. Yeah, almost exactly 100 chapters so far. Now, simply put, for this particular thing, they kept pretty much a lot of stuff in, from what I can tell, because I only had read the Silver Soul arc roughly just a couple weeks ago, and from what I can tell, not much changed. The changes they made from anime to manga, from manga to anime, are very minor at best. 696. Yeah, the only changes they made is they added characters who were not in the actual arc in the manga, but they are in the anime. There's at least 2 that I can think of. One is Tsunami. She's actually not in the manga, if I remember. She's not in this arc at all. She's nowhere to be seen. Here she shows up, probably in a lot of anime-only footage. My guess is the reason why that they threw her in, because it's the final arc. Throw in everybody. The ones who are not dead anyways. Yeah, and they threw in pretty much like every single character who's pretty much almost popped up in the series since the start of it. I would say, yeah, pretty much like everybody. There are some few exceptions, like Tsunami, his adoptive father. He's nowhere to be seen, but pretty much like everyone else is. And throughout this arc, we have various major things happen. Like, in the Resurgent Battle arc, Gintoki took the Shogun hostage. Yep. And the Shogun's still out in space after the Rikoku battle. Yep, he's still out in space, and he negotiates with the Alien Liberation Army, which on Earth, they did something quite dumb. They decided to loot the planet. Yes, for really no reason. And then when they got to Orsia's shop, Catherine wanted to beat the crap out of them, and about to attack, and then Oddjob shows up completely out of nowhere. Just like in the manga. Yeah, there's no changes at all. Beat the crap out of them, and then pretty much for I would say most of this particular season, it's basically Gin leading a big, humongous army of people against the forces of the Alien Liberation Army. And this fight goes on for a good 10-15 episodes. I would say almost half the season is dedicated to basically this fight. And this, basically the main story of Silver Soul, wraps up with episode number 361. That's where officially it wraps up, because that's when they have a time skip in the actual thing. Yeah. But in the last 3 episodes, that's when they fight the main villain. A guy who's kind of been the main villain since the Shinigami, the Pharaoh Shinsengumi arc. Yeah. The guy who's pretty much been the villain for the last 3 arcs, yeah, he gets defeated. Though he does come back. How he comes back, it's very weird how they explain it, but he comes back. One of the nice things you guys say about this arc is the fact the main villain fights a good chunk of the characters. I mean, my gosh, he fights like, I mean, not just Gin, who's the main character. They have Shinpachi, Kagura, Kagura's father and brother, the top three guys in the Shinzagumi, Kaido, Hichigawa, and Soka. Yeah, they all get a chance to beat the crap out of him. Which, you gotta appreciate this story for doing that, because a lot of the time when it comes to a main villain, a lot of the time he's usually taken out by the main character of the series. And you gotta at least praise Gintama for actually going against the common trope, but not just having just the main character fight him, but pretty much everybody fight him. Heck, they even have Nebuama. Yeah, she's in the arc too. She would get a chance to fight him as well, which I thought that was really nice. Everybody gets to slice and dice him. Yeah, the way he dies, well, supposedly how he dies, he falls into a ley line. Thinking, ley line? What do you mean ley line? You mean like actual electrical wire? No, they actually kind of explain this about in the previous arc. Apparently, the big terminal, which by the way, in the opening episode, it's destroyed. And it remains destroyed the entire arc until, like, just after time skip. Yeah, it's destroyed by the late Liberation Army. Yeah, I'm sure that a lot of people who are actually traveling in space, like, we can't travel to Earth for some reason because the gate is closed. Yeah, I'm sure a lot of people basically weren't very happy with that, so I had to take the long way back. Yeah, because I'm sure that a lot of people were still traveling through that gate. Either people at the time or somebody else. Yeah. And pretty much how the first episode begins, it's the same way how it begins the manga, which I gotta appreciate how the anime sticks really close to how the manga presented this particular arc. Not really major changes aside from adding characters. Oh, the former Shinigami, the one who was the executioner. Yeah, she pops up a couple times in this arc. First she's seen running. And then next time we see her, she's at the bottom of a pond. As for when in the world she got there, oh yeah, and the other guy she's chasing. Yeah, I tend to wonder though, why couldn't they include this character in this particular arc? Yeah, I mean, this character, when she first showed up in her own debut arc, in the Shinigami arc, this by far was a really good character, and I really enjoyed her. Here, she just does nothing. At least Tsunami does something. She gets to some of her life force, but yeah. It is by far, Silver Soul, in my opinion, is considered, in my personal opinion, to be one of the, probably the best arc of the entire series. I would say second best, aside from the previous arcs, is probably the Ford Davis arc. And one thing you gotta praise about the writer of the series, he actually built up this arc over the course of 14 years. He built up this arc, and it's really good. Overall, there's only about two characters. There's only like one longtime character who actually dies in this. Actually, yeah, one officially. They killed off the 15th Shogun. Yeah, he actually dies by being shot to death. Yes, he is shot on the mothership. Yeah, the admiral, who turns out to be Prince Hita's younger brother. Yeah, he shows up here as well. And they still play that jungle music every time he shows up. It is so hilarious. I don't know why in the world the animators love playing this music, but it seems like when he hears it, was like, oh no. And it's the idiot prince. Yeah. He's probably by far one of like two characters who's got their own theme music. The other, of course, is Shikao, the one leader of the Kentucky. Yeah. The Kenteku, I think it's called. Yeah, he has his own theme music. It's very dark and moody. Yeah, it first shows up in the Baku's Sword arc, and almost anytime this guy shows up, they play this music, and it's really good music. Yeah. And of course, after the main villain is defeated, of course, there comes back. They jump ahead 2 years later, and That they don't show many characters apparently. Oh yeah, and also Tama and Kentucky, the one who replaced him way back in the Gintama arc, which only was about a handful of episodes. Yeah, he comes back. Except he's sort of been reprogrammed a bit, but he still remembers. He's not trying to brainwash people in order to believe that he's the main character of the series. Yeah. Of course, the inventor, he just, well, revives them and just uses them to activate this special shield that activates all technology all over the place. Yep. Eventually, the things get destroyed. Yeah, these things are around for a good chunk of time. Yeah. One thing you gotta appreciate also about this arc is that characters who never interacted before prior to this arc actually managed to interact with each other. One good example of this is Otia, Shinpachi's older sister, interacting with the demon who's Gein's demon servant, who's also serving Anne, his the weather girl. Yeah, these two have never interacted before prior to this arc, and it's great to see these two interact. And I really enjoy this. I even enjoy this in comic books where characters who never interacted before interact with each other in a very, very unique way. There's a few good examples of this. Like when the Punisher interacted with Rocket Raccoon in Original Sin. Prior to this event, these two had never interacted before. They've been around for pretty much around the same period of time, and they never interacted before at all. And of course, Rocket Raccoon made a joke about Punisher's gun. Another good interaction from that one that I gotta bring up is Emma Frost and Scott Lang. These two never interacted with each other. They knew of each other, but they never encountered each other. But that is just two good examples of characters who never interacted before interacting. I'm trying to think. Mostly, a lot of the characters who pop up in this arc, like when they're on ones on Earth, haven't interacted before, as far as I can tell. I can't think of any who haven't. No, not really. Yeah, but there's a couple really funny moments because, well, Gein basically is trying to sleep, and then Saratobi basically is on top of him, under his sheet, doing her usual stalking. And then Gin just starts, instead of trying to sleep, he starts a drinking party. Everyone else gets freaking drunk. And then when the Venture gets kidnapped, Gensaki, I think his name is, they follow this poop. Yeah, there's a couple poop jokes in this whole arc. Yeah, this is the second one. Yeah, they follow this poop, they think it's him, but nope, it's freaking Kaido. And then they follow a trail of blood. And nope, it's not the inventor, it's Zenzo, the leader of the Obi-Wan. Yeah, the other really poop joke that they threw in here, yeah, I'm surprised. I'm actually not that surprised they kept this in because this was essential to the arc. Yeah, because Kagura put this hot sauce and mustard on the Shogun's food, so he spent the next 3 days going to the bathroom a lot. Yeah, and he had to basically put on sweats twice. Yeah, and he's like, I really gotta use your toilet. Yeah, and it's like, hold it in. Yeah, and then eventually the Admiral apparently got the same thing, so yeah, they negotiated a temporary ceasefire. At least, even though the Liberation troops didn't leave Earth, they did stop looting. Yeah. But as for the time skip, the change they made to characters. Okay. Tama is basically inactive. She has sort of a daughter named Tamako. Yes. Kentucky pops up just once. Just as one period of time, and he's never seen again. Yeah, I read the rest of the arc. He is nowhere to be seen the rest of the whole entire series after this. Otsuya didn't really change very much. She looks exactly the same. Catherine! Oh boy! It's like this woman aged 20 years in the course of 2 years. She's like an old lady now. I'm like, what the heck is this? Yeah, this is so bizarre. How in the world a woman who looks like she's probably like in her mid-30s look like she's probably in her 60s? That really makes no sense. Maybe because she's a cat alien thing. That could be the reason why. Also, Shinpachi's introduction post time skip is basically a repeat. It's basically a retread of the pilot. Yeah, you one guy basically getting being punched by his boss, delivering a milk. The cheetah guys basically trip him, and you see Shinpachi wearing Gintoki's Komodo thing and carrying a wooden sword, and he's listening to Otia's Best of Shinpachi. Maybe he's becoming an international celebrity. Yeah, that's probably the reason why she made that for him. Unknown if these two started a relationship because even the manga never revealed. Because Otia is nowhere in this arc at all. Yeah, she's probably like the only character I can think of who does not pop up in this arc. She doesn't even show up for that special sequence for the whole life force thing. Yeah, she's nowhere to be seen. Oh, and also when the Shinigami pop up, I'm going kind of back and forth for this. When they show up during the main story, the Shinigami get completely different tires. Like they were all black trench coat. They got rid of the white ascots they were wearing. Yeah, even Kaido got rid of that. Yeah. So when they show up years later, Kaido is no longer the chief of Shinigami. They explain later on what happened to him. Shinpachi's sister has put on some weight. Oh, and by the way, does she do anything this rest of this whole arc? Nope. She basically sits at home the whole time. There's no mention if she's a cabaret girl. Yeah, that's never brought up at all. Let's see. Kentucky, aside from a slight change of attire, nothing really has changed. Kagura apparently has developed the ability to change her look. Yeah. Also, the Shinigami has been disbanded because apparently they have one group of thugs rolling around. Sayo was still under the protection of Nebuso, who's become the police commissioner. Yeah, she took over the old man's job, which kind of makes sense. And of course, they want to get women equality, so why not have a female police commissioner? I don't know if there's any actual real life female police commissioners in real life. I've never seen any, anyways. I have heard of in fiction of female deputy chiefs, like in Brian Michael Bendis' Superman. There's a female deputy chief in that one, but an actual chief, unknown. A lot of the characters who basically now. They don't show it in this particular part of the thing, but later on through that Sarah Toby has taken over the leadership of the Yabe. Yeah, she took over leadership and she sends the group to hunt down Gin to make him her husband. Yeah, that's basically what she tries to do in this whole entire arc. During the post time skip stuff. Let's see. When the Shinigami shows up, yeah. It technically is a Shinigami, but they don't really name them. They're just regular police who just happen to wear the Shinigami uniforms. Also, I should point out, though, that their training stuff in the past, Kaido apparently decided to strip himself butt naked and also remove his groin for some reason. Yeah, apparently he developed that ability. And he wore weighted clothes. Ichigawa stopped smoking. And Sakota basically decided to still torment Kaido. Not Kaido, Ichigawa. Yeah. It's by far really bizarre. Also, Yakuza apparently gets killed. Got his throat slit by the main villain. Then he comes back as a RoboCop ripoff. Not kidding. If you look at this guy post-time skip, yeah, he looks like frickin' RoboCop, except he can actually move his chin thing. Yeah. I'm like, seriously? Like, why in the world would they turn him into a frickin' robot? Couldn't they just, I don't know, use the technology to restore his health? Instead of, turn him into a frickin' robot. Basically, what they did with him is they made him a ripoff of RoboCop. Heck, his way he looks like frickin' RoboCop, except he's all gray, instead of the way the traditional RoboCop look is. Ichigawa is still a cop, but he's been demoted. Soda apparently committed Shinpaku. The silent captain apparently resigned. But nope, he did not commit Shinpaku. It's basically committing suicide by slitting your belly open, and then having somebody basically behead you. That's basically what it is. Yeah, it's basically an assisted suicide, and this was something of a tradition from what I've read, that this is something that the way men restore their honor by doing this. I know that they did an episode of Naruto where they try to have one person do this, but I have never seen it done in any actual depiction, because it's probably, from what I've read about it, it's a very disgusting thing to actually see. They kind of come close to it in the Shinigami arc, the Shinigami. Yeah, they come close to that, but not that close. Nope. Let me think. Yeah, apparently he took the remains of the Shinigami, made them all assassins for the Japanese government, which they basically based out the Ninja government, with the whole Prime Minister thing. And Katsura became the Prime Minister. And what's his name? Donald Zarump. Yes. The writer had Zura take the name of the current president of the United States as his alias as Prime Minister. Well, he doesn't act like Donald Trump. He just took a similar name. Except that Katsura has grown a mustache. It looks pretty real to me. It's not fake. He still does the whole thing of not Zerup, but Katsura. He still does that. Yeah. Also, when they introduced Nebuza, basically the way they introduced her is quite weird. First, the Shinigami, I'm still calling them that. They have him basically take a. In real life, they use this thing. It's a breathing check. So everyone's drunk, and yeah, apparently because the whole thing, a virgin thing, they think this child's actually his. Nope. It's by far a very weird thing to do, and yeah, I'm trying to think. What else? Yep. As for Nebuza, aside from the new position, she wears the same exact outfit she wore prior to the Mitsugumi disbanding. Yeah. I'm trying to think if there was anything else. I mean, there was only just 5 episodes, basically, they did for post time skip stuff. Yeah. Oh yeah, Shinpachi. Aside from making grow 2 years older, he apparently got a lot more bulkier. Yeah, he got a lot more bulkier, and he became a lot more stronger over the course of the 2-year time skip. What has Kentucky been up to? Basically checking all the gates, see if the main villain showed up, and he kind of did. Coming back as a baby. Yes, he came back as a freaking baby. And then he grew up really fast into what looks like about a child about 8 or 9, and the remains of his organization, the Nebuzu, I think it's called, telegraphed him. So Kentucky basically falls off a cliff. He does survive, though. In order for them not to get their hands on him, he removes his own heart and gives it to Gin. Yes, I'm not kidding. He seriously does, as though it's not an actual looking heart. It looks like a crystal heart. Which, you gotta appreciate the anime for not showing actual art, because I'm sure some families actually watch this and they're probably thinking something like that would be really disgusting for a child to see. That's something basically out of Mortal Kombat, ripping a heart out of someone's chest. Yes, they do this in Mortal Kombat a lot. I've seen footage of this. I personally have never done this in Mortal Kombat, but yeah. This overall it's been a really good season so far, and I'm thoroughly enjoying it. Okay, so that's it for this particular review. Now, as for what's going to happen next, over the course of the next 3 videos, it's basically what's left for the franchise. I mean, I've already read the manga. The manga's all done. Though it's going to continue in Jump Ginga of all things. And from what I've heard, it's a quarterly magazine. So, expect reviews of that every 3 to 4 months. Not kidding about that. Now, basically, episode 11 will cover the 1 OVA, aside from the Love Incense. Cover that. And then 12 will cover the 2 anime movies. 13 will cover the live action films. and start with episode 14 until whenever this series ends, because they're pretty much almost done adapting the manga. They only got about 16 chapters left, so if they do about 3 to 4 chapters per episode, they can probably finish this up in probably, I'd say, 4 to 5 episodes probably have left. Yep. So yeah, that's really it for this particular review. Stay tuned for 2 comic corners. I'm going to do those next, okay? But to see you there. Bye.